You are with the big story here. I'm Seher Zama. An unprecedented protest in Delhi today. Protesters were the Delhi police personnel standing in uniform outside the police headquarters. They have broken their silence on the clash between the lawyers and cops that had taken place last weekend, 2nd of November at the Tis Hazari court over a parking dispute. On their insistence today, earlier this afternoon, the Delhi Police Commissioner Amulya Patnaik stepped out to address them directly. He appealed to them to maintain peace, urging them to be back at work. But he was only received with slogans. He was booed at with chants, "We want justice." This justice for the 20 police personnel, several lawyers who were injured in the Tis Hazari court incident. It was not just that one standalone clash on Saturday. The skirmish that continued, which was seen on Monday as well, with lawyers protesting across several courts in the national capital. A cop was assaulted outside the Saket court on Monday as well. Following which, we have seen this massive fallout of the Delhi police personnel protest outside the police headquarters.
वैसे दिल्ली पुलिस के लिए चुनौतियां हम हमेशा देखते आए हैं। तरह तरह की सिचुएशंस को हम हैंडल करते हैं। आप लोगों से मेरी विनती है कि आप अपने ड्यूटी पॉइंट्स पर वापस जाएं। जैसे हम लोग अभी यहाँ पर इकट्ठे हुए हैं, इसी वक्त इसी स्थिति में भी हमारे कई सारे जवान जगह जगह पर ड्यूटी पर हैं, तो आप लोग भी अपने ड्यूटी पर वापस जाएं।
That was his voice entirely drowning in protests and chants that continued against him, asking for justice. We have with us our panelists, but first, ground inputs coming in from our team of correspondents. We have with us Alok and Apurva just outside the Delhi police headquarters where this protest is still on. First to you, Apurva, in what we've seen, the police personnel speaking out like never before, an anger that has not been seen before, hitting the streets in protest. The Delhi police top cop has already addressed them personally, but to no avail. For how long will this protest continue, Apurva?
Witness today were unprecedented. The voices we heard were unprecedented. They were filled with anger. They were filled with concerns. They were filled with asking how long are they supposed to deal with this kind of atrocity on them. I have one of the police personnel joining with me, a sub-inspector rank. Ma'am, ये बताइए कि आज जिस तरीके से हमने यहाँ देखा, सारे पुलिसकर्मी बाहर आए, एकजुट होकर उन्होंने यही कहा है कि इस तरीके की जो अट्रॉसिटी, अत्याचार उन पे हो रहे हैं, ये बंद होना चाहिए। हमने कमिश्नर से भी पूछा, उन्होंने भी एक एड्रेस किया सबको। क्या आप संतुष्ट हैं जिस तरीके से उन्होंने चीजें बताई है कि शांति रखनी चाहिए, इस पूरे चीज पे 30 हजारी वाले पे कार्रवाई की जाएगी?
पहले कुछ टाइम पहले कांड हुआ था मुखर्जी नगर में, उस टाइम पर सब ने शांति बना के रखी, सिर्फ इसलिए आज का दिन देखना पड़ा पुलिस को। अगर उस टाइम पे सब एक साथ आते तो आज ये नहीं होता। गलती हुई है पुलिस वालों से, उनमें एकता ही नहीं है। अगर एकता होगी तो कोई कुछ नहीं बोल सकता है। वकील है, सब इकट्ठे आके हड़ताल कर देते हैं, पुलिस वाले क्यों नहीं हड़ताल कर सकते हैं? क्योंकि उनको ऑफिसर्स कुछ भी करने ही नहीं देते हैं। आज भी बोला जा रहा है शांत रहो, अपनी ड्यूटी करो। क्यों करे भाई, ड्यूटी क्यों करे? सब ऑफिसर्स अपने अपने बैठ के ऑफिस में ऑर्डर कर देते हैं, ठीक है इनको वहाँ भेज दो, इनको वहाँ भेज दो। कोई छुट्टी नहीं होती है टाइम पे, 4-4, 5-5 दिन खड़ा रखते हैं। कोई टाइमिंग भी होनी चाहिए। हमारी ड्यूटी कितने आवर्स की होती है वो एक अलग से बताना चाहिए। सिर्फ इतने आवर्स पुलिस का काम होता है, ये नहीं है खड़े कर दिए, इनके माँ बाप बच्चे नहीं है कि इनको खड़ा कर दो और भूल जाओ। क्यों भाई, हमारे आगे पीछे सब है, फैमिली हमने भी देखनी है, बच्चे भी पालने हैं।
जिस तरीके से हमने देखा 30 हजारी में जो चीजें बाहर आई, वीडियो एक के बाद एक बाहर आई, कहीं ना कहीं लगता है कि आप लोग का हौसला भी टूट रहा है, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से जो बुरी तरीके से पिटाई हुई है, कहीं ना कहीं आपका हौसला टूटता हुआ दिख रहा है।
बताते पुलिस वाले डरने लग गए वर्दी पहन के बाहर निकलते हुए। डर लगता है पता नहीं कब कौन आएगा, कहाँ से निकल के आएगा और मार पीट के चला जाएगा। हमारी कौन सुनेगा? पब्लिक की हम लोग सुनते हैं बैठ के थाने में, ठीक है 100 नंबर की कॉल होती है, पुलिस भाग के जाती है। अरे जब पुलिस ही पिटेगी तो कहाँ कॉल करें? कौन कहाँ जाएगा बोलने के लिए? सीपी साहब सुनते नहीं है, डीसीपी साहब सुनते नहीं है, नीचे वाले मरते रहो। ये कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं है ना। अगर इतना ही मारना है तो ठीक है, वकीलों को दे दो सारे असले, बोल दो भाई खत्म करो, पुलिस को जरूरत ही नहीं रहेगी, कराओ वकील से सारे काम।
तो अभी आगे आप क्या सोच रहे हैं? जिस तरीके से हमने देखा, एक बयान भी आया सीपी साहब से कि शांति बनाए रखें, वो देखेंगे इस पूरे बात पर कार्रवाई की जाएगी, जो लोग सस्पेंड हुए हैं उन पर भी कार्रवाई की जाएगी। तो आपको लग रहा है?
मैं बताती हूँ आपको, सिर्फ एक कंप्लेन हो जाने से सस्पेंड करना कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं होता है। कार्यवाही करो, अगर बंदे की गलती है तो सस्पेंड करो, डिसमिस भी कर दो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। कोई कंप्लेन लगा देता है, सीधा सस्पेंड कर देते हैं। अरे भाई पहले देखो तो सही गलती है भी या नहीं है। कोई भी बंदा आएगा कहीं से भी उठ गया, कंप्लेन लगा दी इस बंदे ने,
Okay.
अरे पहले उसको प्रूफ तो कराओ।
All right, we
और
got
रही
your
हाई
point,
कोर्ट की बात,
Apurva.
वकील लोग
There
तो
is
बोलते हैं, जज लोग सब
understandable,
बोलते हैं कि
unprecedented
सबूतों पर
anger
चलता है काम।
within the police. Alok, it's very clear that the police personnel which is out protesting today in those large numbers is not going to be pacified anytime soon, cannot be convinced with the 2 words of assurances till they see a few arrests being made. But Alok, this is also a question of people in Delhi watching this, understanding part of the anguish of the Delhi police, but also feeling very vulnerable. If you have 100+ cops protesting out on the streets, not at work, there is no vigil on the streets.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, these cops are all, in fact, lower rank officials. Remember, out of 80,000 strength of police personnel, more than 50,000 policemen are belonging to the lower ranks. These are constable, head constable, in fact, ASI ranks, inspector rank officers who are here, and they are holding this protest. In fact, some retired police personnel are also here in the support, in the solidarity of the police personnel who were beaten up yesterday, day before yesterday also, and the court also. Sir, आप लोग भी आए हैं यहाँ पर solidarity के लिए, क्या मकसद है? आप लोग क्या कहेंगे?
इनके साथ में है, हम पुलिस के साथ में।
आप लोग इतने समय तक आप लोग ने ड्यूटी दी पुलिस फोर्स के साथ, आपके टाइम पे भी इस तरह की क्या घटनाएं होती रही हैं?
नहीं, ऐसी घटनाएं तो होती, लेकिन ये सम्मान तो हमारा जो कोई बोलता नहीं था, आज हम खुद को इस बात के लिए
मतलब आप ये कह रहे हैं कि पहली बार आप लोग को मौका मिला है और तो इसीलिए आप लोग साथ में आए। जब आप लोग भी थे तब भी इस तरह की घटनाएं बड़ी कॉमन थी?
इस तरह की घटनाएं होती थी, लेकिन इस हद तक नहीं होती थी। इस बार तो हद ही जो है क्रॉस कर दिया वकीलों ने, पूरे पुलिस मान सम्मान को जो है ठेस पहुंचाई है। तो हम रिटायर्ड में यहाँ पे जो है एज ए ACP रहा हूँ, असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर पुलिस कमला मार्केट। तो उस टाइम में मैं यहाँ पे जो है क्राउड कंट्रोल करने के लिए, प्रोसेशन डील करने के लिए आया करता था। आज मैं खुद प्रोटेस्ट में शामिल हुआ वकीलों की जाति के खिलाफ।
ठीक है। तो अभी आप लोग की डिमांड क्या है सर? आप तो अभी पुलिस वाले हैं ही, तो क्या डिमांड है अभी आप लोग?
एक जो साकेत कोर्ट के बाहर कल एक निहत्थे पुलिस वाले को वकील ने थप्पड़ और कोनी मार के पीटा है। एक तो मेन मांग है उसको जल्दी से जल्दी अरेस्ट किया जाए।
जी, मतलब आप ये कह रहे हैं कि जो वकीलों की अरेस्ट होनी चाहिए।
हाँ, जो भी एक्शन बनता हो जल्दी उसके खिलाफ एक्शन लिया जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये जो सारा गुस्सा है पुलिस वालों को कल के इंसिडेंट को लेने के बाद ही हुआ है। उससे पहले तो हाई कोर्ट ने जो एक्शन लिया था वो ठीक था, सब मान गए थे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी। लेकिन जो कल इंसिडेंट हुआ है, जो बावर्दी एक पुलिस वाले को पिटा गया, उसके बाद ही सब पुलिस वालों को तरह हुआ।
Yes, sir. In fact, judicial inquiry was ordered. That was the separate probe that was ordered. But in fact, lawyers were not seems to be satisfied, and that is why they were holding protest yesterday. And when the police persons reached near the high court, near the courts, they were in fact attacked by the lawyers. And there are several instances. We have reports of the violences. The police personnel were being attacked, beaten up by the lawyers. So these police personnel who are protesting outside the headquarters, they are saying that those lawyers whose video evidences are there, they should be arrested as soon as possible. And also the biased investigation,
all right, so they're
whatever
saying
is happening,
that
should not
ample
happen.
available
They
visual
should also
evidence
get justice.
that should be taken into account instead of outright slamming the police here on this. We have Mr. Swaranjit Sen, who's the former DGP Andhra Pradesh, with us, Mr. Swapnil Kothari, senior lawyer. First to you, Mr. Swaranjit Sen. Today is an unprecedented development, a fallout of the violence of the skirmish that we'd seen on Saturday. Do you feel that the Delhi police top cop could have spoken any different today while he was addressing his men in uniform?
Well, I feel that Delhi police top cop from his side has said whatever he could say to pacify the agitating policemen. But it has come, the whole situation has arisen out of disaffection towards not only the way the government deals with them, but also the leadership in the police. I would like to say this. Now, if we see this in a neutral way, dispassionately, police is the whipping boy of everyone, and especially the government, number one. Number two, they are also the sacrificial lamb, and that is the lower ranks in the police. So why should the lower ranks in the police not voice their opinion? I mean, this is just the ultimate, that lawyers beat up the police. What kind of message are the lawyers sending to the general public? Where will the police go? I think this is a very serious incident, and I am very disappointed, once again I would like to say, with the judge who has said that he will give compensation to the lawyers who were injured. What about the police who were injured? So this is the general, way of thinking of the Indian people. And I'm sorry to say, police is doing a very, very good job. Damn good job, better job than any other government department. They are under such strict disciplinary systems. They are very badly provided for where the housing is concerned. You have, the army has a military hospital. Police does not have a military hospital. They're supposed to be on duty every time. What is this nonsense? Is the country never going to understand or realize? Police has got the minimum kind of benefits. And then what do people say? Well, they have self-perpetuating income. What does that mean? You're encouraging them to go and collect money here and there just to survive? Is this what the country is looking for? Nobody is trying to sort it out. And I am glad that this incident has happened in Delhi, because Delhi police is administered by the central government. At last, the central government will take cognizance of the plight of the police all over the country. I am serious about what I am saying, and I have seen it. There has to be a
there are several points that you've raised, Mr. Swaranjit, going through them bit by bit. Mr. Swapnil Kothari, from what we've seen since Saturday, with the Delhi High Court stepping in and taking cognizance and having a special sitting and a hearing here on this case, do you think there is an aspect to this which is why today the police feels victimized and persecuted?
Seher, the police is absolutely justified in feeling victimized, especially when they see that particular video of a lawyer, elbowing the man, elbowing the cop and throwing his helmet and beating him up and roughing him up. In that aspect, the police is right that he had no business doing that, because I don't think that cop was in any way, harassing that particular lawyer. So I think that lawyer needs to be booked. There is no question about that. There are several sections of the IPC, interference in the affairs of a public servant, criminal assault on a public servant, interference in, for stopping a public servant from doing his duty. So those are 2-3 sections that you can levy, and that man needs to be arrested. Now, as far as the aspect of compensating lawyers who were injured in an accident were concerned because they faced bullet wounds, I think we should not question the integrity of the judge here, simply because that is a very temporary relief given. Now, obviously, the flip side to that is that if there are cops who have been injured, likewise, the judge should have ordered that as well, if proper evidence was brought before him. So, since I'm not aware of that fact, I will not comment on that. But the point is that if there is a retired High Court judge who's been appointed to deal with this judicial inquiry, then I think this needs to go on. And I'm glad that the Delhi police chief has asked people to calm down and let the administration continue, because you cannot hold the city to ransom. Definitely, it is a new law by the lawyers. I'm absolutely ashamed by the conduct of my fellow lawyers here. This is something which is most reprehensible, in my opinion. And I think they need to take a leaf out of the Constitution and read that again. And
But Mr. Swaranjit Sen, why was the judicial inquiry called in by the Delhi High Court not assurance enough that that one is going to reach the bottom of this case? Those allegedly accused of violence from either side will be taken into account here. Why was the fact that a judicial inquiry was called not an assurance enough for the Delhi police? The personnel protesting today.
No, it's not going to be an assurance at all. I'll tell you the reason. The first reason is, how did this judge decide that he should suddenly give compensation to these people straight away, even without knowing whether they were the culprits or they were not the culprits, without investigation? What does it show? How can the police have any confidence in this judge when he has left out all the injured police? Number one. Number two, there is a nexus between the lawyers and the judges. We all know it. Nobody wants to speak about it. It has been going on for years and it will continue. It is right there. So naturally, police will not have the confidence. There is something much more. Probably the judicial bench has to be expanded to include many more police officers and all, to give a chance for a fair type of, view of this problem. Then only I think something.
All right, but there is a lot of this visual evidence, mobile footage, CCTV images here, which still needs to be submitted, and that would be in the course of this judicial inquiry. Stay on with us, please. We're going to be taking a listen. Yes, we're going to be taking a listen in to that nature of assurance that had come in from the Delhi police top cop earlier this afternoon.
ये कुछ ऐसे इंसिडेंट की वजह से कुछ पुलिस पर्सनल थोड़े से एजिटेटेड से हुए थे। अभी इनसे बात हुई है, उनको समझाया जा रहा है कि जो एक आध इंसिडेंट हुए थे जिसपे पुलिस वाले दिखाया गया कि उनके ऊपर कुछ असॉल्ट वगैरह हुआ है, उस पर कानूनी कार्रवाई हो गई है, एफआईआर वगैरह हो गया है, कानूनी कार्रवाई की जाएगी। तो ये कुछ इंसिडेंट्स की वजह से जो ये थोड़े से रोष आया था, उसको थोड़ा अभी हम एड्रेस कर रहे हैं। इन सब से बातचीत की जा रही है और इनको समझाया जा रहा है कि हम अपहोल्डर्स ऑफ लॉ हैं, कानून के रखवाले हैं, उसके हिसाब से हम आगे काम करेंगे और इनके जो भी कंसर्न्स है उसको सीनियर फॉर्मेशंस बिल्कुल एड्रेस कर रही है और ये वाली बातें उनको हम पहुंचा भी देंगे। आप लोगों से भी अपील है कि आप ही के ज़रिए भी उनको पहुंचा दिया जाए कि दिल्ली पुलिस हमेशा एक प्रोफेशनल एंड डिसिप्लिन फोर्स रहा है। हम उसी इमेज को बरकरार रखें और आगे जो हमसे उम्मीदें रखी जाती है पब्लिक की तरफ से, सरकार की तरफ से एज कानून के रखवाले, उसके हिसाब से हम चलें।
All right, these are efforts, of course, to pacify them, to help them understand that this is who better to explain, of course, to the police. They know how the process is on investigations, how this would further go on. But Mr. Swapnil Kothari, apart from this word that's coming for the Delhi police personnel to maintain restraint, to keep discipline here, this is as much that should come in from the Bar Council for the lawyers as well. We don't see that happening.
Sir, that's a very good question, in fact, and I'm sure that if the police were to complain to the Bar Council would be taking note of the complaint. And in this case, I think the Bar Council should take a suo motu cognizance and not wait for the complaint of the police officer.
That's right.
They should look at this particular lawyer who was elbowing and hitting the person and try to do that on their own. And I'm sure the Bar Council is probably in the process of doing that, and I had said yesterday on your channel that I don't see any reason why these errant lawyers should not be given a notice by the Bar Council as to why their license should not be revoked. And one more point, Seher, is that I tend to disagree a little bit with my panelists to say that there is a sort of a nexus between lawyers and judges is as loose as a statement to say that there is a nexus between the cops and the politicians or cops and the goons. So I would not want to make that kind of a generalized loose statement because that carries a lot of implication. And I think the judiciary is probably the most unimpeachable as far as this, as far as the three arms of the government are concerned, and especially the higher echelons of the judiciary. And you were talking about the Premier High Court of the country, a Delhi High Court judge. So there is no way that
let's have Mr. Swaranjit Sen respond to that. Mr. Sen, what made you make that statement here that there could be some partiality?
Well, we've seen it not once, we've seen it hundreds of times. what happens in courts, how the judges are eager, beaverish to satisfy the lawyers, how they go on taking adjournments on flimsy grounds. And then what happens? Cases are pending. Who's going to deal with these pendency? Who's responsible for it? What is the judiciary doing about it? I've spoken about this earlier. It is not the problem of the police or anyone else. The judiciary has to find solutions. So these are the reasons. You think personally we don't know about incidents? The person who spoke just before me, I'm sure he also knows what happens. I don't want to cast any aspersions. I'm only telling you what is the present situation, what happens further. There's much more interaction between the advocates and the judges. It is natural. But on the other hand, I think
Mr. Sen,
generally
to what extent
the
would you
judges
have
are not as tolerant with the police.
The
They
central
go on picking
government
holes
observing
in
these
everything that the
developments?
police does,
At what
every
point do you
investigation.
feel, Mr. Sen, at what point do you feel that, because this is the Delhi police that we're talking about now, at what point do you feel that the Union Home Ministry should be stepping in here on this? We have seen the unprecedented, the impossible. We have seen police personnel in uniform hitting the streets in hundreds. That protest is still continuing. At what point should the central government step in?
Well, I think it is immediately they should step in, because this kind of disaffection can grow throughout the country. And mind you, unless it is nipped in the bud right now, we are going to be in quite a mess. Police has agitated, struck work many times before. I have dealt with at least 3 such cases. I don't think the central government has really looked into all the problems which were enumerated there.
Is that one of the demands? Let me quickly go across to our correspondent Alok here. Alok, we have seen the demands, of course, pertaining specifically to the Tis Hazari court. There has been no strong assurance that has come in from Mr. Amulya Patnaik so far here on this. Are the police personnel now looking at directly for the central government to resolve this? Have they reached that far with that demand? Alok, that question for you, please.
Yeah, can you please repeat the question? Actually,
okay, we seem to have lost that.
Hear it.
To have a bad audio connect here. We'll have to leave it at that, but this is something that we're going to be tracking through the afternoon here, a list of demands so far that have been made by the protesting Delhi police personnel. Thank you for our panelists for speaking out vociferously on this issue. This is a clash that no civil society desires. This is between the judiciary and the police. It has reached to this level here that many feel now much more bigger players, bigger voices, such as the government, should be perhaps stepping in here on this. This is anger that was bottled up, and it's under no circumstance going to be fixed back into the bottle anytime soon. These are issues that need to be resolved, following which we can expect them to be working along for the sake of us, for the sake of the people, in tandem, in peace. Thank you for being with us.